No bunker is safe. That was the message delivered on March 28th, when US FA-18 fighters launched from the USS Harry S. Truman and deployed JSOW-C precision glide bombs against Houthi positions in Yemen. The Red Sea and Bab al-Mandab Strait, essential arteries for global trade, had become targets as Houthi forces threatened shipping and regional stability. Armed with GPS, infrared imaging, and pinpoint targeting, the JSOW-C left Houthi defenses with no room for escape. But the real story isn't just about advanced weaponry. It's about why these strikes were necessary in the first place. The Red Sea's transformation into a strategic choke point was not just a matter of geography. It was the result of deliberate, calculated moves by Houthi forces operating from Yemen's coast. Their attacks on commercial vessels and threats to the Bab al-Mandab Strait placed a critical global trade artery at risk, raising costs and delaying shipments worldwide. For shipping companies, the uncertainty was immediate and costly. But beneath the surface, a far more complex challenge was taking shape, one that would test the limits of conventional military power. Across Houthi-controlled areas, fortified underground bunkers became the backbone of their operational strategy. These were not makeshift shelters. In Sana'a, a rebuilt military headquarters stood atop an extensive bunker system, while similar complexes were scattered through Sada province and other northern strongholds. Each site was engineered for survival, buried up to 20 feet underground, reinforced with thick layers of concrete, earth, and rock. These locations served as command centers, weapons storage, and staging areas for troop movements, essential nodes in the Houthi network, hidden from view and insulated from traditional airstrikes. The depth and construction of these bunkers presented a formidable obstacle. Standard bombs, even those designed for hardened targets, often detonated harmlessly on the surface or failed to penetrate more than a few feet of reinforced concrete. Airstrikes that relied on brute force could damage upper layers but rarely reach the core of these underground complexes. This allowed the Houthis to coordinate attacks, manage logistics, and store missile systems with relative impunity, sustaining their campaign despite repeated coalition offensives. Military planners faced a dilemma. Every failed attempt to neutralize these bunkers consumed valuable resources and prolonged the conflict. The persistence of these underground sites enabled the Houthis to disrupt shipping and maintain pressure on the Red Sea corridor, amplifying the economic impact of their operations. Each unresolved bunker was a military liability and an ongoing threat to the stability of international trade routes. Complicating matters further was the Houthis' practice of embedding these fortified sites near residential areas. This tactic limited the coalition's options, as conventional bombing risked significant collateral damage and international backlash. The need for precision was clear. Strikes had to reach deep, reinforced targets while minimizing harm to surrounding civilian infrastructure. The limitations of previous methods became increasingly evident. Earlier campaigns relied on massed sorties and heavy ordnance, but these approaches often produced only temporary disruption. Buried command centers might lose communications for a short time, only to resume operations days later. The cycle of destruction and reconstruction drained resources and eroded confidence in the effectiveness of standard air power. As the conflict dragged on and the Houthis refined their defenses, the urgency for a new solution grew. The Red Sea's importance as a trade corridor meant that every day of instability sent ripples through global markets, affecting everything from energy supplies to consumer goods. The strategic imperative was clear. Coalition forces needed a way to strike at the heart of the Houthi network, deep underground, behind layers of reinforced concrete, and often within reach of civilian populations, without causing the kind of widespread destruction that would undermine their objectives. The arrival of a new weapon system promised to change the equation. Unlike conventional bombs, this technology was engineered for precision and depth, designed to penetrate fortified bunkers while limiting collateral damage. For the first time, military planners had a tool that could potentially neutralize the underground threat at its source. The stage was set for a different kind of operation, one that would test whether advanced technology could succeed where countless sorties and traditional munitions had failed. What if the answer to these fortified underground bunkers was a weapon that could reach them silently and with surgical accuracy? The JSOW-C or Joint Standoff Weapon Variant C, emerged as a pivotal solution for targeting the most fortified underground bunkers in Yemen. Weighing in at approximately 1,650 pounds, this precision-guided glide bomb was engineered for missions where conventional airstrikes fell short. Its aerodynamic design allows it to travel up to 70 nautical miles from the point of launch, enabling aircraft like the FA-18 Hornet to remain safely outside hostile air defense zones while still engaging deeply buried targets. The JSOW-C's standoff capability fundamentally changed the calculus for attacking hardened sites, particularly those shielded by reinforced concrete and steel. Central to the JSOW-C's effectiveness is its two-stage broach warhead, developed specifically for bunker-busting operations. The initial stage uses a shaped charge to bore a narrow tunnel through up to 6 feet of reinforced concrete, or 3 feet of steel. This penetration is not the end goal, but rather the entry point for the weapon's main warhead. Once inside, the second stage detonates, generating a pressure wave of 5,000 psi, enough force to collapse internal structures and neutralize personnel or materiel within a 30-meter radius. Thousands of steel fragments are dispersed in the blast, maximizing internal destruction and increasing the likelihood of secondary explosions if munitions or fuel are present inside the bunker. Unlike earlier generations of bunker-busting munitions, which often relied on sheer explosive mass and repeated sorties, the JSOW-C delivers precision and efficiency in a single strike. The weapon's guidance system is multi-layered, ensuring accuracy even in contested environments. GPS provides the primary navigation, guiding the bomb with an accuracy of less than 3 meters. To guard against electronic interference or jamming, the Inertial Navigation System, INS, serves as a backup. The INS uses internal sensors to maintain the missile's trajectory, ensuring it stays on course if external signals are lost or disrupted. This redundancy allows the JSOW-C to reach its target even under heavy electronic countermeasures. A defining feature of the JSOW-C is its advanced infrared IR seeker, which activates roughly 30 seconds before impact. This system scans the target area, detecting subtle temperature differences that reveal vents, entry points, or concealed structures invisible to other guidance methods. During the strike on the Jabal al-Assad bunker, for instance, the IR seeker identified a small, camouflaged air vent. This last 30-second infrared scan gave operators a final course correction, critical for zero-margin targeting. The ability to distinguish genuine targets from decoys or camouflage ensures that the JSOW-C's payload is delivered with maximum effect and minimal risk of error. The weapon's adaptability extends beyond static installations. The JSOW-C can engage moving targets traveling up to 40 kilometers per hour, a capability that is rare for munitions designed primarily for hardened sites. This flexibility means that adversaries cannot simply relocate vehicles or mobile command centers to escape attack. The missile's silent, glide-based approach further reduces warning time, making evasive action almost impossible once the weapon is inbound. The JSOW-C's design philosophy is rooted in reducing collateral damage and operational risk, while maximizing the probability of mission success. In environments where adversaries embed critical infrastructure near civilian areas, the ability to deliver a precise, penetrating strike minimizes unintended harm. The weapon's range and accuracy eliminate the need for risky follow-up sorties or area bombardment, streamlining the operational timeline and reducing exposure for friendly forces. Its operational debut in Yemen on March 28th put all these features to the test. The rebuilt military headquarters in Sana'a, one of the most heavily fortified Houthi positions, was neutralized with a single JSOW-C strike. The weapon's ability to penetrate deep layers of reinforced concrete without endangering adjacent civilian structures demonstrated its value in real-world conditions. This success was not isolated. The weapon was used against a network of targets, including weapons depots in Sada and facilities at Sana'a International Airport. Each strike was completed within minutes, underscoring the efficiency and reliability of the JSOW-C in high-pressure scenarios. The March 28th operation marked a shift in what could be considered vulnerable on the battlefield. Deep-buried bunkers, once impervious to conventional airstrikes, were now within reach. The implications for adversaries, relying on underground infrastructure, were immediate and profound. With the technical foundation of the JSOW-C established, the events of March 28th would show how these capabilities translated into decisive action on the ground. Operation March 28th unfolded with a level of precision and coordination that set it apart from previous air campaigns in Yemen. Within a span of under 7 minutes, FA-18s launched from the USS Harry S. Truman delivered JSOW-C strikes against at least 3 major Houthi targets. This rapid, multi-pronged assault was designed to disrupt command structures, cripple logistics, and neutralize the underground assets that enabled the Houthis to sustain their operations along the Red Sea corridor. The first target, the Houthi military headquarters in Sana'a, had been rebuilt and reinforced after earlier attacks. It served as the nerve center for coordinating missile launches and troop movements. As the JSOW-C descended, its guidance systems made final adjustments, ensuring a direct hit. The 2-stage warhead penetrated layers of concrete and steel before detonating deep inside the structure. The headquarters collapsed almost instantly, erasing a command post that had previously survived multiple conventional strikes. Simultaneously, coalition aircraft targeted weapons depots in Sadr province. These facilities, concealed among residential neighborhoods, stored large quantities of missiles, drones, and ammunition. The JSOW-C's accuracy was essential here. Each strike needed to destroy the depot without causing harm to nearby homes. The result was unmistakable. Secondary explosions lit up the night, destroying missile and drone stockpiles while leaving surrounding structures intact. At Sana'a International Airport, the focus shifted to disrupting Houthi logistics. The airport had become a hub for transporting troops and moving equipment across northern Yemen. JSOW-Cs cratered the runways, rendering them unusable for both military and supply flights. This single action forced the Houthis to find new, less efficient routes, complicating their ability to reinforce frontline units or redeploy assets quickly. A critical moment in the operation was the strike on the Jabal al-Assad command center. Buried more than 20 feet underground and camouflaged against aerial surveillance, this facility directed Houthi missile and drone campaigns across Yemen and beyond. The JSOW-C, guided by infrared sensors and GPS, identified a hidden air vent, its only point of vulnerability. The weapon penetrated through this vent and detonated inside, collapsing the bunker and severing the command network. The destruction of Jabal al-Assad dealt a severe blow to Houthi coordination, disrupting their ability to launch complex synchronized attacks. Throughout the operation, the JSOW-C's standoff range allowed pilots to remain outside the reach of surface-to-air missile systems. The efficiency of the strikes meant no second passes were required, minimizing exposure and risk to coalition aircraft. The rapid pace of the mission left little opportunity for Houthi forces to mount a defense or relocate assets. This approach sharply contrasted with earlier campaigns, which often relied on repeated sorties and risked greater collateral damage. The aftermath of March 28th underscored the operational impact of precision-guided munitions. No civilian casualties were reported, and the destruction of key facilities forced the Houthis to adapt quickly to new vulnerabilities. The strike sent a clear message. Hardened bunkers and concealed depots were no longer safe havens. The ability to neutralize critical infrastructure with such speed and accuracy shifted the strategic landscape in the coalition's favor. Yet, the mission's success was not solely due to advanced munitions. Behind each strike was a network of support systems that enabled real-time targeting, extended operational range, and seamless coordination among pilots and command centers. In a region where distances are vast and targets can relocate with little warning, these technological enablers became just as important as the weapons themselves. Understanding how these systems work together reveals why the March 28th operation achieved results that previous campaigns could not. The March 28th operation relied not only on advanced munitions, but also on two critical technologies that shaped every phase of the mission: Link 16 and the Buddy Pod. These systems allowed US forces to maintain situational awareness, adapt to evolving threats, and extend their reach deep into Houthi-controlled territory, capabilities that proved essential in a region defined by vast distances and rapidly shifting targets. Link 16 served as the digital backbone of the operation. This secure, encrypted network connected aircraft, ships, and command centers, transmitting real-time targeting data and battlefield updates with minimal delay. The system's ability to refresh and distribute information in near real time meant that every participating unit operated from the same intelligence picture. During the strikes, crews aboard the USS Harry S. Truman and surveillance aircraft relayed updated coordinates and threat assessments directly to FA-18 pilots mid-flight. When intelligence identified a mobile radar unit in Marib after missiles had already launched, Link 16 transmitted new coordinates, allowing a JSOW-C to adjust its course and strike the moving target without recalling or redirecting aircraft. This mid-flight retasking capability minimized the window of opportunity for Houthi forces to hide or relocate assets, ensuring that each missile remained relevant and effective even as battlefield conditions changed. The impact of Link 16 extended beyond weapon guidance. By providing a unified, real-time view of the battlefield, the system enabled seamless coordination between dispersed units. If one aircraft spotted a new threat or identified a secondary target, that information was instantly available to all connected forces. This shared awareness prevented redundant actions, reduced the risk of friendly fire, and allowed for coordinated, focused strikes across multiple locations. In the chaos of Yemen's conflict, where Houthi positions could shift in minutes and new threats could emerge unexpectedly, this level of synchronization proved invaluable. While Link 16 enabled real-time adaptation and precision, the Buddy Pod addressed the challenge of operational reach. The geography of Yemen, mountainous, remote, and sprawling, meant that many critical targets lay well beyond the unrefueled range of carrier-based FA-18s. Without aerial refueling, these jets could cover approximately 450 nautical miles before needing to return to base. The Buddy Pod, an external refueling system mounted beneath an FA-18, changed this calculation. By allowing one jet to transfer fuel to another while airborne, it extended the operational range to over 700 nautical miles. This increase in reach enabled strikes against remote Houthi strongholds and facilitated sustained presence over contested areas. The practical effect was clear throughout the operation. Aircraft could launch from the carrier, reach distant targets in provinces like Sada and Marib, and remain on station long enough to conduct multiple attack runs or await the best intelligence before striking. Extended loiter time proved especially critical when dealing with mobile launchers or convoys, as pilots could track and engage targets that might otherwise have escaped. In areas where intelligence indicated imminent movement of weapons or personnel, such as near Hodeidah, refueled jets maintained pressure, denying the enemy the cover of distance or time. The integration of Link 16 and the Buddy Pod amplified the effectiveness of each sortie. A single aircraft, guided by real-time data and sustained by aerial refueling, could accomplish the work of several jets operating independently. This force multiplication meant that the carrier strike group could project power across a broad front, adapt to changes as they happened, and maintain a tempo of operations that left little room for adversary response. The results speak for themselves. Coordinated strikes neutralized dozens of underground bunkers, weapons depots, and radar installations, all within a tightly controlled window. Every aircraft returned safely, and the mission's objectives were achieved without the need for repeated sorties or increased risk to pilots. The combination of real-time communication and extended range allowed the US to deliver rapid, precise, and flexible responses to a dynamic battlefield. These technologies did more than enable a successful mission. They set a new standard for what is possible in modern air operations, as precision weaponry and support systems evolve, the nature of conflict itself changes. The events of March 28th offer a glimpse into how advanced tools can redefine the limits of reach, speed, and accuracy in warfare. The March 28th operation produced measurable results: 15 underground bunkers, 12 weapons depots, 5 radar stations, and 8 warships were destroyed in a matter of minutes. The JSOW-C, with support from Link 16 and aerial refueling, enabled these precision strikes, collapsing command centers and critical infrastructure with minimal collateral damage. This disruption significantly weakened Houthi operational capabilities and undermined their ability to coordinate attacks. By redefining precision strikes, the JSOW-C has set a new standard, forcing adversaries to rethink how and where they hide. If you found this breakdown insightful, hit like and subscribe for more analysis of cutting-edge military tech.